on the fans and listeners who you are and where you from, fam.
Ray Daniels, from Atlanta, Georgia, South Side, College Park to be exact.
Yes, sir.
Love it here. Love it here. Love Atlanta. Atlanta made me, man.
Yeah, you're a living legend out here in all the different areas we're going to get into tonight. You've done everything in the music industry we all dream of. So like I said, it's an honor to get to have this conversation with you. What made you decide you want to get into the music industry and pursue this as your career?
I didn't decide to get into the music industry. Somebody that I went to high school with asked me, could I help them with something? And I was like, fine, you know, like I was like actively looking, you know, like you just, it comes that moment where like everybody graduating high school, all your friends going to college, and you're kind of like stuck and you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So, you know, a friend asked me to help him. I said yes. And I mean, here I am, 18, I mean, what, like 20 years later, here I am, bro. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I saw you were talking to Beehive on his interview when you did the interview with him. You mentioned about how you guys started with your friends, and you know you were looking for a purpose coming out of college, and you didn't know what you want to do. But then this guy flags you down on Old National, and you're like, "What do you want from me?" You know, and then it ends up being a great opportunity. Now, not the opportunity might not have ended up the way you hoped for, but at least gave you a chance to get started. You know what I mean? I think a lot of times it takes just that chance to get started. But from your viewpoint, you know, what was it about that first chance in the music industry that kind of excited you and made you say, hey, this is something I could really be great at?
Because I always had a gift for talking. I always had a gift for talking to people. And, you know, usually I was trying to talk my way into getting with women, and then now I found something else to talk about, which is music. And it was just like the perfect marriage. It was like I believed in what I was doing. I went hard for what I was doing. And, you know, it just was natural. It was just like, I was just like good at it, bro. Like I was good at storytelling. I was good at finding ways to get people to show interest. Like I just was good at it. I can't believe that I'm here actually all this time later. But, you know, my life.
That's amazing. Now, do you think because you're from Atlanta, it made it easier for you or harder for you to get into the game?
Easier. It was, well, it made it easier because I was born in New York. I lived there till I was 12. And, you know, so when I decided to be in the music business, it was just like, man, let's go to New York. You know, like that's where the buildings are. That's where everybody is. Let's go see how to do that. And that's what we did. So it was easier because I just was fearless, man. Like I've always been fearless when it came to trying, you know, something that I thought was going better. If you gave me something that you said, Ray, you should do this, it's going to make your life better, I'm like, I'll try it. Like, I'm not the guy that's like, man, fuck that guy. I'm the guy that's like, nah, I can do it. Straight up.
And we're traveling from Atlanta all the way to New York to help promote the artists and, you know, the label that you were pushing. Like, a lot of people don't have that grind and that tenacity to pick up in the car and make those long trips. But I know a lot of industry people who have been successful, they have that in them. What was it about you think that made you want to do that? You know, make those long trips, get out there into this New York, pass out those CDs, and you know, trying to help other people?
I would say, how can I put this? I would say I think the hard part, fear always controlled me. Always, like, unfortunately. Yeah. Fear always controlled me. And the fear of being no one was enough for me. Like, it's like, you know, be nobody or drive your ass to New York and try to do something. Like, that was my options. I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna just go for it. Like, even now, like, fear is my main driver of like fear of like not getting there, fear of being, of not making it to the top of the mountain that you're climbing on. Like all that things motivates me and makes me work as hard as I do, like honestly.
Yeah. Do you think because of that fear of not winning, you know, that grind that you have in you is one of your secrets to success? You know, like while everybody else is partying in the club, drinking, having fun, you're waking up at 6 a.m, going to the office in your routine, you're there. Like you really are doing this, you know, successfully because you created a dope routine. Do you think it's because of that tenacity or that fear of failure that's done that for you?
Yeah, I didn't hear the last part you said. You broke up a little bit, but yeah, I would just say that, you know, fear is a good thing, bro. When I feel it, I go towards it. Like I embrace fear. Yeah. If I fear something, I go towards it. Like I run to it. Like, cause I don't want to feel it. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's always been my motivator. Like, man, I just don't want to be nobody, bro. Like, I didn't want to come into, I didn't want, like, this word is hard, but it's like, bro, it's really hard being nothing. It's
Yeah.
really hard being broke. It's really hard.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want to be that. And that's where I was at,
And,
like, honestly.
and do you think because of that, it made you such the great executive you were? Because when other people tried to have excuses about why they couldn't do it, you went back to when I was homeless, I was broke, I still did what I had to do. So how are you sitting in my office telling me you got this budget and you can't do it? Like, do you think that?
Well, yeah, that's a great question. I just, you know. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yep.
Oh yeah, I dropped the phone by mistake.
You good?
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, that was a really good question. I'm just motivated, man. I just want to be something, man. And I didn't want to lose, bro. Like, I didn't want to lose, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, you when you've been around long enough, you've seen people lose. You know, you've seen people lose, like genuinely lose. Like, damn, bro, like that motherfucker lost. Like, you know, you seen motherfuckers wake up like, man, this was my dream. My dream is here. And it's like, bro, you know what I mean? People I ran into that said this was their dream. They don't know what else they're going to do and then they don't make it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? People that happens to, like, I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be the guy that, like, was like, man, I could have been something if I just did 1, 2, 3. I don't want to be that guy.
I saw also that you talked about with your second opportunity, the team you were working with, you were doing all the work, you were getting all the connections, but they wouldn't let you put your phone number on the CD, and it made it have a falling out because of that. You know, do you think sometimes when you're really a hard worker, it can intimidate other people because they're not going as hard as you? And, you know, no slight to them, but it's just something about you. Like you said, you want to win, and, you know, it sometimes can intimidate the other people.
No. First of all, kudos to you for even knowing that. I don't even remember putting that information out or where I put that information out. So that's incredible that you figured that out. I think that people need to be in control, and these guys, they like controlling me. They like controlling my moves, and I was okay with that. By the way, I just was like, bro, let me at least feel like it's us, and they didn't want that. And those guys, we all broke up, and when we broke up, like the story is I went far, they didn't. Like, seriously. So it's fucked up that's because, you know, for me, it's like, this wasn't my dream. This is like still not my dream. This is not something that I'm like currently like, man, I gotta be like, this is not my dream, bro. This was other people's dream that I was allowed to be a co-pilot on. Right. So I didn't. So when they would move with so much ego or so much entitlement, I was just kind of confused by it, because I'm like, bro, like, we lucky we here. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, me? So, appreciate the opportunity, but they felt like it was entitled. Or
I always said, like, some people feel like because God gave them a gift, God owes them. Yeah. And, you know, God gave you a gift, but he don't owe you nothing. He don't owe nobody. The gift was what he gave you. Like, you got to show him that you were worthy of it, you know? So I've seen so many people that had the gift that lost it. I just couldn't understand it. And I didn't want that to be me. I didn't want that to be me.
Do you think because it's always been for a bigger purpose, like you said, you were doing it for other people, that it allowed you to not give up? You know what I mean? I'm the same way. I do everything I do to help my state, Indianapolis, and everybody I'm trying to put on. So it's always been a bigger picture for me. So for you, do you think because you were always trying to help other people, it allowed you to deal with all the BS that goes on in this music industry because you knew you were helping your family or you're helping somebody else achieve their dreams, and without you, they couldn't get there?
I wish it was that deep. If I'm being honest with you, what it really was that I just wanted to make sure that I earned my keep. Like, it was like, you know, when you're dealing with artists, man, artists are fickle. Artists are funny acting. Artists, like, you know, they switch up on you. So for me, it was like, I always just wanted to make sure that even if it wasn't for the artist's sake, it was for God. Like, God was like, Ray, you did your best. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I was at. I just wanted to make sure that I did my best no matter what.
That's one thing I really love about you. I've been a fan of the God podcast for a very long time. Ever since Joe Budden mentioned you, I started looking you up. I love how you put God into it. Like, I think that, being someone who has a higher respect for a higher power, it allows you to move a little bit differently in this game. Like, from your perspective, how do you feel it does for you? Like, having morals, having, caring about other people and stuff like that. Like, do you feel like that's been a help for you?
Man, I don't always feel like that, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. It don't always feel like that. Some days I just wish that I was like a demon. And I'm like, I just wish honestly, because you know what it is? Because it doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter. It just matters that you ran into the right artists. And, artists are fickle and funny acting and will switch up on you. And then not only that, you run into people who, like, want to be a part. Like, it's like people that I want to be down. I want to be down. Ray, help me. And it's like, bro, I'm going to let you down and then you're going to let me down. I'm going to let you in and you're going to let me down. It's just a game. You feel me? So for me, it's like my peace of mind is way more important to me than anything else. So I just kind of focus on like being happy, and whatever good comes from that comes from that. But whatever doesn't, it doesn't. But brother, the game is not good to good people.
Right.
Nah, it's just not. It's people that take advantage of you, and then a gangster will get rich because a gangster will be like, "I'll kill all y'all." They're like, "Pay him," So it's like, which one is like, So for me, it's like I just decided to play the role that I feel like I was born to play, and whatever God does with it, He does with it. Like, that's really what it is.
That's amazing. Now, you've had amazing mentors in your career, Sylvia Rhone and L.A. Reid. So let's get into that a little bit. How did you get the opportunity to work with these two legends, and what do you think it was about you that made them want to work with you? Because they are who they are, and you are who you are now. But when you were coming up,
they still are who they ought to be. I don't feel no. It's not like I'm like, oh, that's just L.A. No, or that's just Sylvia. Hell no, they still is L.A. and Sylvia to me at this very moment, and I get them both on the phone right now if I need. But I think how I got to Sylvia was I just kind of got in the game, did a deal for my artist, and Sylvia needed records, and I was supposed to go meet with her to play her some songs, and I played her like 3 or 4 songs, and it was supposed to be like a quick 20-minute meeting, and it wound up being like a 2-hour meeting. And then I remember I took the train from Philly to New York to go do the meeting, and I get on the train to go back to Philly. Before I get to Philly, I get a text from Sylvia like, I want you to work for me. I was like, cool. So I said yes immediately, obviously. And then I did work for Sylvia for like 3 years, from 2007 to 2000, like right to the end of 2009. And then I was outside in the cold again. And the one thing I wish I would have did was I did a consultancy, but I wish I would have went inside, right? So then I stalked L.A. Reid, because like everybody I looked up to him. So like, you're talking to KP, you talking to Devon Stevens, you talking to all these guys who I like idolize, and they like LA, and I'm like, I gotta work for this man just so I can say I'm a true part of the Atlanta legacy. So I stalked him, and I mean, he was scared of me. He'll tell you, he was like, Ray was crazy, because I just looked in my eye like, bro, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. Yeah. And he eventually hired me, and he eventually loved me, like, so, but Sylvia, I got lucky. At LA, I was like, you're gonna have to take me whether you want to or not. I don't care what you say, and he did. So it worked out in my favor.
So that's dope with L.A. Reid. Like you said, you stalked him. Was it something that you knew where he was? Did you have an inside track on how to get? Like, some people would want to meet big people, they want to meet legends, but they're scared to. Like, I've learned, if you just show up at the hotel when a conference is going on, a lot of times you can meet people and really build relationships.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna say this. When I say I stalked LA, what happened was that I had an artist that I had a small bidding war going for, and I shook another label's hand. By the way, we all cool now. It's like I shook another label's hand, and then somehow some crazy shit happened where somebody took me to L.A. Reid's office. Like, after I just agreed to do a deal with somebody else.
Yep.
I was in L.A.'s office, and I remember thinking like, man, this is the best move for me.
Yep.
This is the best move for me. Like, this is the dude I want to work for. So I made a decision, because the artist was signed to me. So it wasn't like he was managed. He was signed to me. So I was like, we going to Epic with LA. Because I knew I was going to work for him. I knew it was like, you couldn't tell me I'm not going to work. And dog, I did what that. So I worked for him. I would be like, just give me a chance. And he would always be like, you crazy, bro. Like, you crazy. And then finally he offered me a job. Before he can get out me, I was like, yes. He was like, do you want to work for? I was like, yeah. Before he get out me, he was like, man, I'm crazy, right? I said, and I remember what I told him. I said, I'm the kid that lives across the street from you that didn't have a father, but watch you play catch with your sons.
Wow.
I was like, man, I just throw the ball, man. I ain't gonna never get mad at you. I ain't gonna never flip on you. Just throw the, and that's why I still love and respect him the same way to this day, because he did.
So when you got this opportunity, did you know what he wanted you to do, or you were just more worried about the chance?
I was worried about the chance. I didn't even care what he wanted me to do. He could have told me clean his cars. I didn't give a fuck. I wanted in. Yeah. I wanted to see on the other side of the veil. That's all. That's what I cared about. I just wanted to see what was on the other side. And once I did that, it was easy from there. It was like, oh, okay, this is how it goes. Oh, wow. Okay, I got it now. I know what to do. And that's really how it went.
Now, you started, like you said, as street teaming for other artists and helping them. So when you start moving into these executive roles, what's some of the things you learned as an executive that you wish you would have known early on that could have not just made it a smoother transition, but could have helped the artists or other people you were a part of in the beginning? Because there's a lot of game that you learn behind in those office doors that most people aren't privy to.
The lesson that I learned a lot, by the way. I mean, I learned a whole lot of lessons. But I think one of the lessons that I learned, that I had to learn, was that the machine does the same things for everybody.
Yes.
And
yes.
You know, you hear some artists say, I didn't get no promotion, that's why I didn't blow up. That's not why you didn't blow up. You didn't blow up because you wasn't good enough.
Yep.
It's no disrespect. So, you know, like when Nelly came out, nobody knew Nelly was going to be as big as he was.
Right.
Nobody knew he was going to sell 10 million records, but he did. And for me, you know, what I had to learn was that you can't make someone love something. It's like L.A. Reid can't say, this is my next protege in the world. The world might look, but they're not going to love it. They're going to still look like, okay. So what I had to learn was that, dog, the system, bro, these labels, there's no secret. The only secret that the labels do that we don't do is that they put up more shots than us.
Yeah,
it's the only difference. It's like, so if you just keep putting up shots, you'll eventually hit one.
No, that's so true. Like people will say, you know, I get an opportunity to be on this major label. I finally made it. But they don't realize when you get the deal, you're starting all the way back over. Like you worked all your life to get to the starting line again, but they're so busy celebrating the victory that they forget now you got to go make another song. Now you got to network and meet DJs and, you know, go do all the legwork. Like how hard or why is it so many artists don't understand the work ethics that involve? Like they work so hard to get attention from a label, and then they get the opportunity, and then a lot of times they mess it up because they don't keep working as hard as they did.
Well, it's kind of like being in a relationship. Like, if you trying to be a wife, after you become a wife, what do you do after that? Like, do you stop trying to be a wife?
Yeah,
because now you are a wife. So you got to do the same. Whatever you did to get there, you got to do to stay there. And you probably got to do a little bit more because now you have a spot, and people want your spot. So for me, it's like, you know, when I went to work for the label, man, I'd never seen an artist break from 0 to 100 behind from behind closed doors. Like, of course, like I knew Chris Brown when he first got started. So I never seen the machine work. Like I seen the artist blow, but I never seen the machine work. And when I went to go work at Epic, the first artist that I saw work from beginning to the end was Meghan Trainor. That was the first superstar I seen be born. And Meghan was one of 10 artists that was on, like we was pushing. We didn't know Meghan was going to be what she was. No one knew. So that's when it was like, damn, this is really just a luck game. It's like she made the right song at the right moment that the people wanted. And here's the crazy part. She got signed. She had a video out and a single selected before she had a manager.
Wow. So she did everything.
Yeah. She didn't have nobody. She didn't have no team, no nothing. She literally got signed. Troy Carter became her manager because of me. Because I was in a meeting with Jay Irvin, and I remember Megan's A&R was like, hey, man, I've been chasing Jay Brown and Jay-Z to manage her. They're not responding. And I was like, I just left Troy Carter's office. I could connect you to Jay Irvin. And he was like, cool. But by that time, All About the Bass was done. It was already done. They just needed somebody to handle her while they rolled out the song. It blew up. So you start realizing it's not a secret button to be pushed. Either the people want you or they don't.
Yeah. It's really not about you. character because you're willing to hand off. Like there's a lot of examples we'll get into with your podcast and everything. You're always offering your connections or your relationships to help another person, while everybody else is like, nah, this is my plug. You got to come through me. You are very big on helping other people. Like, how has that benefited you, do you think, because of you passing the ball or helping other people? How has that came back to you because of those, you think?
You know, I think time will tell. You know, I stay positive. Okay, so this was my theory on life.
Okay.
My theory on life is that 97% of us are what the mood calls for.
Yeah.
And then you have the other 3% of us who are committed to one side no matter what, right? So I give you an example, right? So like, I'm gonna give you two successful people. Donald Trump.
Yep.
He's a taker.
Yep.
He's a taker, right? Barack Obama, he's a giver.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck what's going on. Donald Trump is here to take. They both are successful, by the way. So, but the reason why they win is because no matter what the story is, they know a character they're gonna play.
Yeah.
And some people might give, and then some people might take, and then it's like, oh, I'm gonna give to them, and then I'm gonna take to them, and oh, today I'm a giver, and I got money, so I'm a giver, and tomorrow I'm broke, so I'm a taker, and now it's like, and for me, it's like I just decided I'm gonna be a giver no matter what, and
that's amazing.
And you know, I'm gonna give as much as I can, and you know, I gotta be okay with whatever the results are, because I don't want to be a taker. I don't. Yeah. It just doesn't sit good for me taking from people, knowing, because I know better. You feel me? But it's just who you are. So, you know, people just most of the time, people just whatever the mood calls for. Like, oh, they fuck me, I'm gonna fuck them back. Oh, they nice to me, I'm gonna be nice to them back. And I'm like, oh, they fuck me, I'm gonna still be nice to them. Oh, they doing me nice, they treat me nice, I'm gonna be nice to them. Like, I'm gonna be nice to them regardless. Like, it's people who I don't like, but they call me and need help, I'll help, because I decided I'm a giver. That's just that's the vessel that I'm choosing to be. And I also got to be okay with whatever comes with it. And that's where I'm at.
I love how you said that. That's the vessel, because, you know what I mean, you are who you are. Regardless what everybody else chooses to do with it, you can't let them impact you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because the game is full of bad people, but it's full of great people as well. So you can't let them change you. Like we see behind you, there's a lot of plaques on your wall. What was the first plaque you ever got, and how exciting was you and your family to know you got a plaque from the music industry?
Well, I didn't get my first plaque until like 2013. Like my first plaque that I ever got though is I'll show you, is this one right here. The first credit I ever got was Chris Brown's album.
Wow.
First album, my artist at the time did a song on there. His name was Noah. So that's the first plaque that I got. But you know, man, like I got 20 plaques at this point now, man. Like it's just the game. It's just, you know, but that first one meant a lot. But I didn't order plaques till I was like 2013, 8 years in the game. Like, bro, I don't watch my work. I don't pay attention to my work. I can't. Like, that's a rule of mine in business.
Yeah, a lot of people get caught up in watching the scoreboard, and me and my business partner, St. James, will just say, wait, we don't pay attention to what we did 20 years ago, because nobody cares. We just keep trying to put up shots and keep scoring buckets. But those plaques are motivation for your team. There's the motivation for the artist. And like you said, most people don't know you got to buy your plaques. So when people are showing these plaques, you had to pay. They had to pay for that. Yeah. It was your work that did it, but you still got to pay for it.
Especially, I mean, only people that probably get free plaques are if you work at the label or you're the artist. And the only time that you work at the label, you get a plaque, and that is when they buy the plaque and they charge it to the artist account. So they got to order for the artist, and they order for the artist team. So I got some I didn't pay for. Like a lot of my chopper plaques, like the label just gave, but like that shit, dog. That shit is more for people to know what I do. Like I feel like I'm in the music business. You walk in my house, I don't want you trying to figure out what this guy do. I know what he does.
Yeah. So did you?
I got like 30 more that I got to get. Like every day is another certification. I'm like, oh, I got to get that. I got to get that. Fuck, I got to get that. So yeah.
Now, I saw you mention that, you know, your son, when he found out you signed NLE Chopper, you know, that was when he finally really saw what you did. Like, how satisfying was that for you? You got plaques from everybody around the world. You worked with all the biggest artists, but because you put on NLE Chopper and your son's excited by it, how did that feel for you? Because I'm a father, too, and my son's the same way. He's not impressed by nothing. So, you know.
It was cool. It was cool. It's good to be Like, dog, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, I don't really give a fuck what the outside world believe. Like,
Yeah.
it's some people out here that the world celebrates, but their kids hate them.
Yeah.
You know? So for me, it's like, bro, like, the most important thing is how my family views me, how my family sees me, because that's what I do it for.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, you know, my son being proud of something I did was really dope for him and his friends, so he could tell his friends. But that shit, I left Warner January last year. I haven't even thought about Chopper, none that comes with Chopper since I left. Like, I gotta move on to other shit because, you know, some people get caught up in the past. I don't live in the past, bro. I don't live in the past. Like, I don't even live in what happened yesterday. Like, people congratulate me, like, congratulations on, and I'm like, what'd I do? Oh, yesterday. Oh, that was yesterday. I forgot. Like, I really do not dwell. I know how people, like, I just don't get how people celebrate everything. Like I signed the deal, celebrate. It's like, bro, you gotta work.
Yeah.
Like, fuck the deal. That ain't shit. Like, that they have to spend money. Like,
I think
the labels have to spend money.
They do.
Every year, no matter what. Dog, sometimes it's kind of like, imagine me sending you to the casino, and I'm like, hey, bro, here's $1 million cash. You better spend $500,000. You gotta spend $500,000. So if you bet on red ain't special.
All right, everybody can bet on red. Right?
I gotta bet. So when people celebrate, I'm like, bro, they had to do that. Like, now win. That's the celebration. Win.
Yeah. And a lot of times it comes down to because their goal was to get signed. Their goal was to get on the goal.
Like, the goal might have been to get married. Like, I got married. Now I don't know. So it's like, what does happily ever after look? That's why you ever hear people say marriage is hard. Of course it's hard. Because you didn't want to fucking get married. You didn't know what you want to get married for.
Yeah.
You just wanted to get married because that is another plateau. Like, I'm not chasing plateaus, bro. I'm not doing none of that. I wake up every day, I do my job, and then I go home and I enjoy my house and my family. That's what I do. The rest of the shit is dog, it's been people in my business that have killed themselves. Like, rest in Shakir. Like, man had a life that everybody wanted. He killed himself. Chris Lighty killed himself. You start seeing people killing themselves, and I couldn't understand why. But as I got more successful, I was like, this is why they killed themselves. Hold on one second. Excuse me, darling. I'm doing something. Can you, like?
You good?
No, that's my kid. She don't give a fuck. My daughter don't give a fuck. She like, you home, it's my world. But yeah, so, you know, I've seen men kill themselves. Like, and I'm like, that's not going to be me. That's not going to be my story. It's not going to be my story.
Is that one of the reasons you're so big on giving free game? Like, a lot of people in your position run around here and tax artists or tax people for a little bit of information, and you're out here on Instagram giving every game, all the information you can on your podcast. Anytime you speak to someone, you're trying to uplift people. Is that because you want your legacy to be known as, like you said, you're the coach for dreamers and, you know, ambassador for the dreamers?
Okay, I'm sorry. Here's the reason why I give the game out. The reason why I give the game out, honestly, because I apply it every day.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
the people that's giving you game, that's charging you, that's how they make their money.
Facts.
Like, that's how they make their money. Like, they charge you for the game. Like, I actually do it every day. I actually do it every day. I do it every day. So my mind is like, and then, you know, sometimes you just need people to talk to. It's a lot of it for me. I'm sorry, man. My phone keeps fucking dropping. I'm actually setting up a community that I'm putting together where I'm gonna give people more access, you know, for a premium. But it's gonna be like, you know, it's gonna be basically a marketplace for people to like get to their dreams.
Wow.
There, so that's what I'm putting together right now.
So, like, are we talking about like doing something on Patreon where if you pay certain tiers, you get?
Yeah. But I'm gonna make, so like, say if you're a producer and you're trying to get your beats placed, I'm gonna have people in there that want to buy beats. Wow. You know, say if you're looking for a publishing deal, I'm gonna have publishers a part of the community, and there'll be a premium, but there'll be courses, classes, all of that. Because for me, it's like here's the hard part, and I face this a lot now. A lot of people are like, Ray, I need your time. I need your time, and I just wish people understand. Like, I really be trying to tell people, I've never worked this hard in my life. I've never worked this hard in my life. I'm stressed how hard I work. And here's why. Because I run my company full time, which is how I feed myself and everybody around me. And I'm basically a full-time intern for my company, for my podcast and all my media endeavors. So it's like, bro, I'm not. So people like, I just need an hour. I'm like, bro, that's an hour that you just took of my life. So I'm trying to create opportunities where we can do it and make it advantageous to everybody. Because another thing is that I'm also not asking for a piece of the pie. And, you know, people with me is either they're going to get paid some way. Either I'm going to take a piece of the pie. Yeah. Or I'm going to get paid for my time and effort and opportunities that I do. So for me, it's like, that's where my head is at. Like, how can I create something that opens doors for people like myself? I'm in the middle of writing a book right now. I'm like super proud of it, bro. I'm talking to my ghostwriter who I hired to write the book with me. And the quote I said, this book I'm writing, if this came out when I started, I'd be 20 times richer than what I am right now. Yeah. Easy. Like, it's not even a question. Because what hurt me was realizing, because a lot of times when you're monetizing human emotions, you get caught up in the human emotion. Right. Yep. You know, and it's nothing to get caught up in. So it's funny because I tell you the story. I give you an example. I tell you the story. I worked at Epic. I seen Megan train a break. No manager, no nothing. She had a deal and a music video. No manager. Seen a break. Become huge. So now my group gets signed to RCA, our city. I'm such a better manager now. Yeah. But here's the crazy part. I did less work and we had more success. You want to know why I did less work? Because I didn't fight the tide. And we fight the tide. Like, we always are fighting the tide. And let me tell you what I mean. I got 2 guys from the Virgin Islands who I love. Like, I lay down my life to make sure these dudes are great. That's how much I love them, right? So I had 2 guys from the Virgin Islands, and they have a dream. So I'm the holder of their dreams, right? They have a way they see themselves. Now, here comes people who don't know them, don't know me, saying this is who they are. And for the first 7, 8 years of my career, I was fighting. You don't know them, I know them. Yeah. So now that I work in a label, I realized, damn, you can't really control how people see. You can't control what people think. Like, if people see an asshole, they see him. You can't change that. Even if you're being nice, they're still like, you're only being nice because you don't want me to think you're an asshole. So I remember I was on the phone with Peter Edge, and he was telling me, because I was fighting to put out this song we had with 2 Chainz. And Peter Edge was like, we don't think we should push the 2 Chainz record. And I'm like, that's what we pushing. And he was like, well, the 2 Chainz record is urban. And I was like, well, they're urban. Yeah. He says, he says, just because they're from the ghetto doesn't mean they're urban. I was like, New Ray is like, don't fight. That's real. Because it was like the first time I was like, damn, that is real. He said, these guys are a pop Caribbean group. Yes, they are. Yeah. And when I embraced that, we had all the success. Yeah. So I was gonna go ahead. For Rock City, because they're legendary and their sound is what we're going through today, kind of. So do you feel like you guys kind of birthed the sound and kind of helped but you know, the thing is, though, it doesn't matter. See, this is the thing. It's like, your time might have been yesterday. Yeah. The worst thing you can do is look back and be like, damn, I don't think about that. This is the time we in now. Here's my circumstances. This is what I mean by pushing the tide. Fighting the tide. Like, people want to be seen so bad that they're selling out everything that might be great about them because they're frustrated. So it's like, so when I stopped following the tide, everything I wanted came my way. Everything I wanted came my way. So for me, it was like, bro, you can't fight the world. Like, the world sees what it sees. Yeah. Like, Donald Trump might be the nicest guy in the world, but the world sees a bad guy, an asshole, a dick. And he's just like, all right, cool, I'm going to be that then. I'm not going to be anything else. I'm going to be the biggest dick you could find. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why I work. So for me, you know, when I started working with artists, I'm like, bro, you think the problem is the system. No, the problem is not the system. The problem is you. The problem is that you want the system to love you for you, and that's not what the system is there to do. It's there to love what it loves.
Yeah, it likes what it likes,
It likes what
regardless.
it likes. It's like. Let me ask you a question. If I gave you $1 million American dollars or $1 million European dollars, does it make a difference to you?
I mean, European might be worth a little bit more,
No,
but
I'm saying the exact same number, the
no,
exact same value. It don't make a difference to you, right?
nope.
Because if you're in America, you're going to exchange the European money for America. Am I right?
Yeah,
Okay,
facts.
cool. Now here's where it gets difficult. What happens if you go to a vending machine?
They got to have the
They gotta
conversion.
have what they know.
Yeah.
That's what the music business is. They know what they know. They're not. You can't make them change for you. That's not what they're here to do. They know what they know. So
And
you're either gonna give them what they know and win with them, or you're gonna fight the tide. And who knows how far you're gonna go? Who knows?
yeah.
I mean, Kanye beat it, but how many other people can?
And they've been doing it for so long. They've been successful with the same game plan for so long. They don't care if digital music's here, physical copies are here. They just know they're making their money. So they're going to keep doing it that same way. So if you're trying to change the world or change how it goes, then you become, oh, he's difficult to work with. And you might have great intentions, but you're kind of going against what they're used to.
Sometimes you can't be difficult. You just got to be the best version of yourself, and
Yeah.
let whatever happens. That's really what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, you can't control this shit, bro. You can't control this shit. I can't make the world love you.
Yeah.
Like artists be like, do this for me, make this. I'm like, bro, I can't make them love you.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's like the most frustrating. Is like they might not want to love you today.
Yeah.
I can't make them love you. All I can really do is help you be your best, put you on Front Street, and hope for the best. That's all I really can do. So artists be like, like, I got a manager. You're supposed to do this. Yeah, bro, I can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
and and if a manager's telling you I can do all that, then it's like, he's lying.
Yeah.
Or she's lying. They're lying to you.
Or they don't know. Sometimes they think
No. They know. If they tell you they can do something, they know. But what I mean by they're lying to you, let me tell you what I mean. They're lying to you, meaning that they don't know. So sometimes you got to say to somebody what they need to hear to get them to do what you want them to do. Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but it's unfortunate, but it's just the way the game works. It's just, so if a manager's like, I'm going to get you this, I'm going to get you that, I'm going to get you this. They lying, bro. They lying. Because everything they get you is on their name.
Yeah, their reputation.
And bro, how much of, like, a manager that's been in it, that's built their reputation, should be smart enough to know, yeah, I could tell you something today, but if I go to you and I'm like, yo, I need a favor. I got an artist I believe is crazy. I need you to put him in Hype Magazine. I need to be on the cover. You like, Ray, you sure? The cover. Yeah. What happens if that artist don't work out? I can't call you next year and ask for the same thing.
Facts.
So every time I put my name on the line for you, I'm co-signing and fucking up my credit too. So my thing is like, why would we fuck each other's credit up? Let's just build credit. Let's just go out there and do the work. And most artists don't want to do that.
Is that one of the reasons? I know you and Nick Love started to write the book, about the music industry, and it turned into a podcast. So is that why you guys leaned into creating a podcast and, joining and making this new endeavor? Because you're leading the podcast right now as a new podcast. Everybody's running to you as a music, resource and stuff like that. But was it, you kind of got tired of having to make other people want to work as hard as you? So you said, I'm going to do it myself now?
Well, yeah, it was a lot to it. For me, it was, I feel like we need more people off stage.
Yeah.
So it was like, most people want to be artists because that's all they know is the opportunities that are there is being the artist. Yeah. So in my mind, it was like, let me show people other opportunities. That was the first thing. And when I said when I did the podcast, it's funny. So I started putting content out. I started putting content out around March of last year, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't launch a podcast until August of last year. Yep. So it's funny because pay attention, I literally said, Nick, let's do a show. And it's going to be the first show. And we never did it again. I called it a whole new name and everything. And I was like, Convo. And I was like, we're going to call it a podcast. So you want to be in the music business. That was the name of it. Shot the whole show. Nick never came back.
Wow.
Now, now, here's the thing. Nick is grown as fuck like me with kids and family. So I understand. Like, bro, I started a podcast in August. I haven't made $1 yet.
Yeah.
I haven't made $1 yet. So I understand the commitment to it. I'm probably $100,000 out my pocket in what I'm doing right now. So I understand the commitment. So I wasn't mad. So I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna do. I had this podcast out there I want to do called Convos with the Gods.
Yep.
It was like Convos with the Goats and the Underdogs.
Yep.
And then I was like, damn, I can't do that because then that means that somebody gonna have to show up for every show. Like it's like if your brand is based on interviewing people, if you're not interviewing nobody, then what are you doing? And
right.
for me, like I was like, I don't want it. So I was like, just do the GAUDS Show. So then I'll interview myself, and then and that's how I built it. Like just me talking, me going crazy, me doing it, and then building it from there. So that was really my plan. And then I launched the shit, and then it was a social experiment because I've sat in the room with so many artists, and I'm like, I know what to do to blow up. I know what you got to do to blow up. I know what you got to do. What I got to do? You got to be consistent. I'm like, look, if you flying that so let's say if you have enough time, money, energy to fly at 10,000 feet, but you could fly at 10,000 feet for 2 years, right? Or you could fly at 40,000 feet for 3 months.
Yeah.
I'm like, fly at 10,000 feet for 2 years because if you do that, what happens is you give God a chance to enter.
Yes, facts.
We are all on the world's time and we are all on God's timing, but you got to give God a chance to enter. And if you know you can only do this for a certain amount of time, then you're putting God on the clock and it don't work like that.
Yeah, because you're not.
So I would tell artists, I'm like, yo, what you got to do is you just got to build yourself. You got to just build yourself up, and you got to stay consistent and just give the chance, give opportunity for great things to happen. So I was like me, I'm just gonna like, look at me, I'm just gonna talk and I'm gonna do this. And then I was talking, and it was like I was just showing artists. I'm like, because I say to artists, I'm like, if you know what you're shooting for, if you know what you're aiming for, 100 times out of 100 you're gonna hit your mark.
Right.
Two out of 3 times you're gonna go viral.
Right.
2 out of 100 you're gonna go viral. But if that other 98 times that you just hit your mark, it kept it. It was the weight that it needed. So I would tell artists, I'm like, just talk, just do it, just make songs, put it out slowly every day. And then I was like, I'm gonna show y'all. And it was the GAUDS Show. And then it became like so big, and that was like, fuck, like I didn't want to be a podcaster. I don't want to do that. It's like even now, the only time I'm really down is when I'm like, man, like I was just talking to my mentor right before this call, and I was like, today was one of them days for me. I was just having a hard day. And I was like, the frustrating part for me is that I feel like I'm great at being a music exec, but it feels like media is the calling.
Right.
So
right.
Like people are like all my phone calls about the podcast now. And I'm like, bro, like I'm the shit at this music shit. Like I'm the shit. So I'm like, but it's like I don't get called for those. I was on the phone with one of my good friends, and he was like, "You still in the music business?" I'm like, "Bro, we won best record at the Grammys in 2023, not 2022. This year, best record at the Grammys was a Lizzo record called About Damn Time that we did. Yeah, of course I'm in the music industry. Fuck is y'all talking about?"
I reached out to you because I was helping DJ Holiday with his new single, No Stress, because, you know, I love sending music to people and seeing if they like it. You're like, that's my people.
Yeah,
you know, I hope that
I signed that record. Like, I just did another, like, bro, I do deals all day. I just don't talk about it because it's like, what's the point? Like, only thing that matters is the wins. So for me, it's like, why would I focus on, man, I just closed a deal with this one, I just closed a deal with that one? Why would I focus on that? Like, I'm not here to tell you guys what I'm doing. I'm doing it. It's like, do you tell somebody how to walk? You just walk. And that's where I'm at. So the podcast was like my way of just showing artists that be consistent. Dog, go look at, it's a video on my page. If you study my page, the video on my page where I was actually talking in front of a mic and the microphone is not on. then I'm like talking in front of a desk, and then I'm talking in front of a black screen and then a green screen. And then now all of a sudden, 6 months later, I have a real set with a couch and all those things, and everything is looking good. But it's like, so I tell artists, don't be afraid to start and look bad and just grow.
Yeah.
Everything I'm telling them to do, I feel like I was showing them you can do it. Here's me doing it. Here's me doing it. And I think what's happening is that it's starting to take on a life of its own. And now it's funny because now I got artists like, he don't care about my music. He just care about his podcast. What? I'm showing.
Like you can't.
I tell every artist I work with, I'm like, you are your own vessel. You determine how far you go. You determine who you go far with. You determine all those things. You are your own fucking vessel, bro. So I'm being my own vessel for a show. But so it's like, it's just one of the things where it's like, bro, like I do this shit and I love this shit. And I'm really better than 95% of the people that do it, but I don't fit the narrative.
And if the artists were smart enough, they would understand the bigger your podcast gets, it's going to benefit them because people are going to research you to say, oh, that's a dope podcast. Oh, he's a music exec. He's helping right now? Oh, I like the information he gave me. Let me go play.
That was my thought process. That's what I did it for. I was like, at least, at least, you know, like, because sometimes, you know, you'd be like, man, I want to mess with this guy. But you're like, is that guy good at what he does? Is that guy good at what he does? So I was like, man, if I just start talking about what I know, it'll make people come call me like, yo, Ray, I want to fuck with you. But then it was like the people called me, was like, I want to fuck with the podcast. I'm like, the podcast? Oh, that's not what I'm doing this for. So for me, it's just one of the things where it's like, bro, I'm just doing it, man. Like, I just do it every day, and I just want artists to see, like, bro, it's not supposed to be pretty. It's not.
Yeah, no,
it's supposed to be ugly. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be all those things because a diamond has to go through the process to be beautiful.
Fact.
So I'm like, here's me going through the process. Here's me showing you can go through it. But it's like, I'm creating my own goddamn diamond right now. It's weird.
And what's really dope about it with the GAUDS Show, the first episode you did was Tez McClain, who's somebody from your from the same area. That's what I love about what you're doing is you're bringing your friends on the show, and these are all stars and people.
But that's because that's the people who I know would show up.
Yeah.
So the only person I ever asked to be on the show was Master P because I don't know him. Everybody else that was on the show, they was like, let's do it. So I'm like, bro, like even now, like I'm like, because I feel like I can make a conversation interesting with anybody. I feel like I can talk to anybody and have an interesting conversation. So I never chased celebrities. I was just like, let me have interesting conversations. But now I'm in the middle of building some other properties, some other digital properties that I'm like super proud of right now. Super proud of, like that I'm like putting together that I think is like really more in line with the media shit that I want to do. So I'm just embracing it right now, honestly.
Now, how did you and Tamara link up, and what made you decide you wanted to have her be a part of the GAUDS Show? Because it's a great combination between your energy and her energy. You see the young fire she has, and you have the experience, but she's also from a different New York point of view. So how did you guys meet up, and what made you guys decide you wanted to start working together?
A friend of mine, been doing it for like years now, maybe it's like 8-9 years. She showed up to my office, and she was like, I have these plans for you. And I'm like, what? Like, I knew Tamara's a party girl.
Okay.
So like, she's like, I'm adult now. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, so not like she was a party girl, but I would see her at a party. That's what you would see her at, you know? You didn't see her at the library. So she came and she was like, so then she came and then she showed up to my office and she was like, so I was like, so I had this one guy working for me that was asking me questions. And then, but it didn't feel like a conversation. It was like, bro, if I want to be an artist, how do I get in the game? And I'm like, well, blah, 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 blah. But Tamara was like challenging me. Like, she would show up and then it was like, she was just there. And I was like, yo, can you film me? She's like, yeah, let's film. So it became like this thing of like, Tamara's going to ask Ray questions so Ray could put content up online. That was really how it started. And then it was like, it turns into something totally different. Like, bro, it's like, this is like not the plan. Like, it's God's plan. No pun intended. It's God's plan. GAUDS is his plan. Like that's really what it is, bro. So I'm just embracing it for what it is and just like welcoming it. But Tamara's, this wasn't her path either.
Right.
Like, it wasn't our path, bro. Like, it's crazy. So, now it's our path. I got some plans, like, to really turn up. Like, I got some real plans to turn up that I see myself doing, that I'm excited about.
Well, about in this music industry, I'm the same way. I'm a quiet person in life. I didn't want to interview people until the opportunity came to interview Kia Shine. So it was either put up or shut up time. So in this game, you can't say that's not what I do. You just have to put on a new hat and go to work. And I love it because you always put people in position. So I could see the GAUDS Show going on without you on the camera because she's so good at what she does. You can keep bringing your friends in, and she's not scared of nobody. Like, she's saying her opinions to goats, and it's like, hey, that's what we need to hear. We don't need someone kissing the legend's butt, so to speak.
Well,
you need someone questioning.
No, she challenges me, and I love it. And you know, we got some shit we working on. Like you interview Esso. Me and Esso about to do something together too. Like, I'm putting together too. Yeah. So, you know, I'm working on that. But bro, I'm just really like on this plan of like I'm not in control. It's not in my hands. It's in God's hands. I just got to do my best every day to be the best. Like, that's really where I'm at with it.
And you have an amazing team. Shout out to Jay and Jack for helping put this interview together. Like, how important is it to have a solid team? You know, like, we were reaching out in the Instagram, you know, building a relationship, but it had to come for them and my team to put it together because, you know, that's how it's supposed to be. So for you, how important
it's the same thing. I'm going to use Jack for an example. I've been on Jack 10 years. He would hit me once a year, twice a year, raise Jack Dance. And we just never did nothing. And then one day I was out and he was just there. And then I don't even remember how. And then he just was like, and I'm really introverted. Like, I'm really introverted in public. Like, I'm the guy that's going to sit in the corner. Like, I'm not like, I don't need to be the center of the party. And Jack has that personality where Jack wants to talk to people. So it would be people trying to talk to me, and Jack would be like, "Yo, I got it. What up, Jack Dance?" So I'm like, he likes doing that. And then and then all of a sudden he just starts. He became the booker for the show. Like, he just showed up one day. Like, he tried to introduce to his friend. Like, "Yo, this is my homegirl. She can help you with your podcast." So I was like, "Cool." And it wound up being him, like, who just showed up and he just started doing the work. And bro, that's why I always tell people, I'm like, bro, you just gotta. Showing up is the battle. You just got to show up, man, and not be afraid. And it's like the content. It's like what I put out today. Jack Dance is a prime example. He was always cool, always friendly. Nigga always smile. And then the nigga shows up, and it's like one day it was like, "Oh, you need somebody to help you with booking? I do it." And he just did it. And ever since then, it's like everything goes through Jack Dance, like all the booking. So it's like now me and him. Not last week, me and Jack Dance at Timberland House talking about doing a show with Timberland. Like, it's crazy how it works out. And all it took was him being out and showing up. That's why I tell people, I'm like, showing up is the battle, bro. Showing up is half the battle, man. So shout out to Jack Dance, shout out to Jay. I love my team. Shout out to everybody. Jen, Don Vito, everybody. But to me, I didn't want to ask for help. I just wanted to work and see what helped. It's like,
well, it's like,
if you're gonna sit around and wait for somebody to pay your bills, bro, you fucked. If you man, I'm waiting for somebody to show up to pay my bill. But if you working to pay your bills and you know how to do it, when somebody show up, you gonna be like, "Oh, okay, cool, I'll receive it." I'm prepared. I'm fully prepared to do it on my own. So that's really
the post today is the cheat code that most people don't understand, and it's something I specialize in too. If you see a need, fix it. Don't ask questions. Don't ask them if you can. Just go ahead and do it. Like, I remember I hit you up and I was like, "Hey, I like this." This clip you did, can I create something for you? We're like, yeah, do it. Like, it wasn't no, you know, can you do it or any permission. It was just knock it out. And so many people don't understand. If you fill the void, eventually people are going to respect it and like it. And then now I get to interview you for the hype, and we're going to keep building this, you know, relationship. Because I love
exactly. And that's what it is. I appreciate it. And you never know who's watching. Like, you never know who's watching. So for me, it's like, that's really what it is for me. Like, you never know who's watching. And the fact that you know so much, I'm like, damn, like, I don't put things out into the world with the hopes of getting noticed. Yeah. Like, I think artists make that mistake. They put it out and say, why is nobody paying attention? Your job is to pay attention. Yeah. That's your job.
Now, you were at the DJ Power Summit. I was there as well. You know, shout out to Court Digger and Mad Dog for inviting me out there. I see you walking Stank on you. And for me, you were the biggest star in the whole place because I'm a fan of the podcast. And you walked up, shook my hand. And I told my team, I'm sitting with Kingpin. And, you know, everybody like, yo, that's the moment I came all this way for. Like, nothing happened. It was just getting a chance to meet you and see that you were a real genuine person. What's it like for you being at these conferences when everybody's there for getting a deal or an opportunity and you're the man that can do it? Or like, do you feel like people understand what you can bring, or is it more they don't know who you are? You're quiet, and like you said, you're more, you know, humble spirit.
Well, shout out to Tuma. Tuma he told me something one day. I remember when he was running Rap Caviar. He really changed my life with this moment. And I said to him, I said, like, you know, 'cause I've been knowing Tuma since he was with MTV Jams, when he was with BET, like a friend of mine. And I was like, bro, how does it feel to have so much power?
Yeah.
Because at this time, everybody's screaming his name, Tuma, 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 Rap Caviar. If Tuma put you on playlist, your life changed. And I was like, how does it feel to have so much power? And this man said to me, he said, I don't have power, I have responsibility.
Yes.
And for me, that shit stuck with me. So when I walk in rooms now, I don't walk in the room like I'm the man. I walk in the room like I'm responsible for these things. And I have to live up to that responsibility, because that's what you're supposed to do. So I don't really get caught up in like you know, I walk in the room, I didn't know who you was. I speak to you. I speak to everybody. But that's because that's just who I am. I've always been that way. So I'm not going, I'm gonna speak, but then I'm gonna go to the corner. If you say something, I'll say something back, but I'm like, what's up, how you doing? But I'm not gonna be like, what's up, how you doing, man? Nice shoes, where you from? I'm not that guy. I don't know how to small talk. I'm a Virgo. I don't know how to small talk. So for me, you know, just when I walk in rooms, it's crazy, because the first time I went out after I put out content was the Revolt Summit. And that was the first time I went out, and then I couldn't take fucking 3 steps, man. It was like I was being mobbed like by everybody, and it was like, damn, like, so that was the first time I was like, damn, this shit working, because you just never know. Like, so for me, it's like I've been just super active on like building, and not expecting anything besides the opportunity to wake up tomorrow and build some more. That's literally where I'm at.
Yep, just tunnel vision. But I mean, it's definitely working. Like, you've had some major guests on your show, but you had Ian Dunlap, who's the master investor, and now you're on InvestFest. The GAUDS Show has been selected to be on Invest. So how did your team? I know this is nothing to you because you're always on big stuff, but for your team, how did they?
That's dog. I don't never downplay an inch. It's big. It's huge. To have an opportunity to film my show live in front of 20,000 people is huge. I'm not going to downplay it. Yeah. But I have to make sure the show is right. So now I'm like, who's my guest going to be? What am I going to give these people who don't know the GAUDS Show, who are like, okay, this is just somebody, what am I going to give them that makes them say, oh shit, who is this guy? And that's how my head works. So I don't really get caught up into like I don't buy into the hype, bro. I don't buy into the hype of shit, bro. Like, the same people, they're like, I'm only using him as an example because he's an example. But dog, Chingy used to have groupies.
Yes, he did.
I don't know if Chingy still has groupies. Like, I'm pretty sure he don't have the groupies like he once had. He's the same person. Why they just not on him now? Because it's not Chingy season like it was. So I'm the same person, whether it's, and I don't want to use Chingy. I can use Young Jock. I can use a lot of people that went through that been there. I can use a lot of people that been there. I'm just saying that they scream your name, and they'll be screaming somebody else's name tomorrow. Yep. Don't ever get caught up in that, and just do your job.
Well, I think this is a real great opportunity for you because, you know, I'm a big fan of Les Brown. And, you know, if you know his history, he comes from the radio. I can see you as the next major motivational speaker because you walk it how you live it, and you've got the credentials behind you and the power. Is that something you maybe have thought about before of getting into that?
Bro, that's a dream of mine.
Ah, okay.
Like my dream, if I'm being honest with you, I love what I do, but my ultimate dream is to make money from my name and not someone else's. Amazing. And to me, it's like, and I've made money from my name, but I mean, like if you're a music executive, like you only as funky as your last hit, and I'm not on none of the hits. It's the hits that I make for other people. So it's a lot of things that got to fall in place for those people. But I'm gonna show up for me though. Yeah. So if somebody pays me to come talk, I'm never looking back.
No, I could definitely see that, and you're definitely getting the respect you do. You were added to the XXL power of hip hop. You know, all your peers. Like, how's that feel? Like you said, you don't take anything for granted, but that's a major accomplishment. You're standing by that mentored you, and they're saying you are, you know, one of the people that look at, or you know, respecting the game.
No, it means a lot, bro. I don't take nothing for granted, but I also don't get caught up in the moments of it. Yeah, like because it's gone today, it's here today, gone tomorrow, bro. Like we are all just people who are trying to figure out how to live our dream and take care of our family. Don't ever get past that. Don't ever buy into the hype. I don't buy into the hype. I don't believe in the hype. I just do my fucking job. And you know, if you go out there and the only thing that matters to you, the cheers, then you're gonna be fucking tortured by the booze.
Yeah.
And I'm not with that.
Now,
I don't booze or nothing. I just do my job.
I know you're a busy person, so I'm not going to take too much more of your time, but I got some really dope segments on the GAUDS Show. You're not just talking to podcasters, but you got the put your money where the mouth is, where you're going to either drop, develop, or sign. And how did you guys come up with that concept, and what was the response you first got when you asked that question of one of these major industry people who, it's kind of a risky question, but it makes
it is. Okay, so I'm a podcast fanatic. Like, I love Nori. I love Math Hoffa. I love Joe Budden. I'm a podcast fanatic. Like, bro, the crazy thing is I'd rather listen to an interview than a song. Like, I'd rather hear a Lil Baby interview than I hear a new Lil Baby song. Like, I'd rather hear a Jay-Z interview than a Jay-Z song. That's just me. So, all these podcasts have these fun segments, like Noriega has Drink Chance has the Quick Time with Slime. And I was just like, but a lot of people have these challenges, like you got to kiss this person or marry this person or drink. And I didn't want to do that. I don't want to promote drinking. And I felt like people already had that. I didn't want to promote, smoking, because I don't smoke. So I was like, what can I promote that I believe in? So it was like, put your money where your mouth is. Like, and then, donate something to a charity and, see what happens. And then also giving people hard questions where it's like, if they don't want to answer, they just pay it. The kids eat. Like, it was like, what's better than that? So that's what it was. Yeah.
And I want to highlight that for you, because to me, as a fan of your podcast and the podcast world, it shows me what goes on behind industry doors.
But that's what we face. That's what we face. Anyways, like, you could be like, interview, schedule, or cancel. Like Ray Daniels, Joe Budden, Noriega. It's like, well, shit. It is a reality that we all face, because you can't do it all at once. So that's why I did it. But it's exciting, and I also like the credit check. Because, I feel like I hate the concept of giving people their flowers. I hate that. Yeah. Because we only give them their flowers at their funeral, and then I don't want flowers. I can't leverage flowers. Yeah. Right? So it's like, me saying credit check, like lend some credit to some people out there. Like when Jermaine Dupri did my show and he shouted out Ian Burke, and Ian Burke took that clip and ran action on it. That's dope. That's what this shit is about. Yeah. Like, that's what this shit is about, bro. It's about amplifying voices to help people and help, especially the good people, the unsung people. So that's what this shit is about. So that's all I'm trying to do.
And you're doing a great job, not only highlighting celebrities, but like Digital Nas. If you're not from the SoundCloud or you don't understand what he's doing, you may not know him. But when you did that episode, like, you put a major light on him, and he's doing stuff with Kanye and all them, but it just shows that there's people behind the scenes that don't always get the credit, but they're the ones that really work. So, what's some of the future guests you guys are thinking about having, or anything that we can circle on the calendar to make sure we tune in to support?
Man, I have who was that? I did a show, my boy City Under Siege. Okay. A lot of fun. I got a show that I'm coming. I just dropped Warren G show. I'm dropping it tomorrow. Great interview. Like, Warren G's a great person. I interviewed Vince Phillips. I interviewed Mr. College Park. I interviewed him. We had a great interview. And I'm about to interview Young Jock. I'm interviewing Lil Yachty Mom. So I'm opening the doors to having interesting conversations that teaches people with dreams how to go after their dream.
Yeah. I seen in the first episode you asked Tez, who's your the families, the most powerful families in hip hop. I wanted to suggest one to you that I think would be an amazing podcast, is the Marshalls. Troy Marshall and Sylvian Marshall. Epic and Interscope. They're great records, and so I think that's amazing what you're doing, because you're showing people that nobody maybe heard of, but they really do all the work. They're the ones that break the—
And not only that, if you put spotlights on these guys, people won't want to be these guys. Yeah. And to me, it's like, bro, like, let's give the people options to see what's out there for them. Like, bro, like, I would have probably been different when I was 14 and I said, Imagine, I was thinking how different my life would be when I was 14 and I told my high school basketball coach I want to be an NBA player. If he would have said, man, you should be an agent.
Yeah.
You're really good at talking. Like, think how different my life would have been.
Right.
Like, that wasn't even an option for me. Like, I didn't even think about that. Like, my son just told me, I'm like, son, my son is 14. I'm like, son, do a podcast. Do a podcast. Like, about, because he loves sports. And I'm like, you don't have to always play. Like, you can do other shit. And he's like, yeah, that's true. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like big on that. So, man, it's just like, man, we live in a new world, man. The world is community, bro. And I'm just telling people, build your community, activate your community. And if you can get 1,000 people to give you $1,000 a year, that's $1 million a year.
Oh, fact.
Right. So for me, it's like, instead of trying to get 1 million people to give you $1, find 1,000 people to give you $1,000. And that'll change your life. And that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and I love, like I said, I love your podcast because you're an industry insider that's really giving real game. Shout out to Wendy Day with the cheat code. Shout out with Esso and Heineken with Bag Fuel. Like, we need that right now because there's so many snake oil salesmen telling people how to get in the game, but they never had a plaque. Like Casper always says, people are telling people how to do this stuff, but they've never been to BET or Interscope. So it's needed information. For people that want to reach out to you, I mean, we know the artists and everybody's going to contact you, but what's the best way to reach out to you and what are you looking for from them before they start contacting you?
Reach out to me via IG, via Twitter, whatever. I mean, I think, it's so crazy because I feel like I should teach etiquette on like how to reach out to people.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think these people don't understand how to get the attention of the people that they want to work with. They don't understand that. They don't like, it's funny because, people hit me and say, man, Ray, I just want you to mentor me. Man, Ray, I just want you to help me. And I'm like, bro,
watch the video.
Everybody wants that. Like, what do I get? And I'm not even a taker. But how do you gather someone's attention? Like, then if somebody hits you and say, hey, man, I got this thing I'm doing. I would love to see how I can help you. Or like, present it like it's business. Like, I want you to consult me. Like, even if it's that, those things are the things that get responded back. Because I'm like, what do you want to do? But if somebody says they just want help, it's like, well, that's the helpline over there. Go stand over there where everybody at. That's the helpline. Like, I've never called somebody I looked up to and said, mentor me. Like, I'm always like, hey, man, like, even if it's simple, let's start with a compliment. Hey, man, I love what you do. I watch your show. I might get a response, but I'm a rapper. Check me out. Oh, my God.
It ain't happening. Yeah.
Nobody's going to check your shit out, bro. So these are the things that I want to do in the community because I really want to help people win. But, bro, like, I'm so thankful for what I do. I'm so thankful for this shit, man. Like, when I pull into my house in my neighborhood, I ride by my mom's house every day that I pay for it. And look how my mom live. And then I ride by her other house and it's like, damn, look how she would have lived if I didn't have the balls to go for it.
Yeah.
So I want people to win, bro. I want people to win. I want all of us to win. But I want us to know, I don't want us mad that we didn't win.
Yeah.
That's what I'd rather say. I don't want nobody mad that they didn't win. They're usually mad they didn't win because they're like, nobody giving me opportunity, bro. Nobody giving nobody opportunity. These motherfuckers is my friends and they ain't giving me opportunity. I got the
one of the things you know about someone in this industry, we all have Rolodex's phone. Like my phone, I have more numbers than people could imagine, but I won't call them because what am I calling for? Like until I can present an opportunity to help.
An opportunity for them, not an opportunity for yourself.
Oh yeah, no, it's all
like everybody. And then people be thinking like, man, if I make money, if my shit work, we gonna make, bruh. That's like another child, man. That's like Cosmo was saying. This guy's dad is 6'5" and his mom is 6 feet. He's gonna be 7 feet tall and go to the NBA. Adopt him, nigga. You know how many things have to work in your favor for that to happen? Don't even get caught up in that. Don't even get caught up in that, bro. Like you gotta like. I'm in my book. I'm writing. I'm like the thing I'm saying before I start. I'm like, if you're not willing to work the next 10 years every day of your life for free, this is not the game for you.
Yep, facts.
Period.
Work 10 years for free, but no credit for it. Like people who know my history know I did a lot of stuff early on. I never got credit for it, and I changed the game for it. And I don't need to tell people about it. It just gave me the confidence to know I can do so much more. The other
it's for you. You're doing it for you.
You have the Ray quotes. I would love to see a book come out from you, just some of these quotes, or maybe a merch line t-shirt.
I tried to do that, but the it's weird. Like I said, bro, even me, it's like the publisher's like, it's cool, but it's not a moneymaker. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm working on a book. You ever heard of the 4 Agreements?
Yeah.
One of my favorite books. So I'm doing a book. I'm writing a book called The 4 Artist Agreements.
Ooh, that's needed.
It's crazy though, bro. It's like life changing. It's like the agreements I came up with. So I'm in the middle of writing that, almost finished with that. Well, not almost. I'm like halfway. But dog, like I'm just focused right now on like making dope shit that can help change lives. Like that's where my head is at.
And I think the publisher is wrong because they don't understand how this community of podcasters work. If you guys had a merch of a shirt of the GAUDS Show, and you said, if you really like what I'm doing, support my show by this shirt, you guys will sell 1 million merchandise by the end of the year, because people want to figure out a way to pay you back for all this free game.
Exactly. Like and all that stuff. We got the merch is crazy, but even me with merch, like I wanted to do merch that didn't look like merch. I wanted to do merch that represented you. So the merch is fire. But it's not even merch. It's more like clothes that you just want to wear. So I'm putting everything together. It's coming along fine. But it's like, hey, man, it's just, bro, I'm in the process. I wake up every day. I do what I'm supposed to do. And then hopefully good shit come from it. That's really where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely why I wanted to have this interview with you, just to thank you as a fan and of your podcast and everything you do. Thank you for all the people you've helped. Like, even with the NLE Chopper thing, you don't know, but Fresh Does It is a producer. He's out of Indianapolis. And because he produced that song, it changed his life. So a lot of things you've done in this world, you might not always get the credit for, but you've changed and helped so many families just like you wanted to help yours. So I thank you for that. And anything we can do at the Hyper Stop Beef from Radio for you or any of your clients, like I told you in the DM, just let me know.
We will be in touch. Like, to be honest with you, the reason why I've been doing interviews is because I don't want to have interviews done until I'm finished with my book. That way I can promote something. So that's where my head is at. Like, finish the book. And then when I finish the book, I plan on talking to everybody. But then I can leave them with something. So these are things that I tell artists that I got to figure out. So I got to play this. I'll play them by the same rules I'm telling people to play by. So same shit, bro.
Definitely, man. Well, before we get out of here, any shout outs you want to give? Like you said, there's people that were there in the very beginning, or anybody who's supporting you?
Just shout out to the team. Shout out to all my people on my team. Shit, Jay, Shayna, Dre, everybody, bro. Like Don Vito, James, Braxton, Jordan, Tamira, like Jen, like everybody on my team, bro. Shout out to them because they really show up and do and show up for me and get busy. And then, JoJo, in case I forgot you, don't be mad, but I'm just like Jack Dans. Yeah, but more importantly, shout out to the dreamers. Shout out to the people that feel like, they got a dream and nobody sees them. Fuck nobody seeing you. Go look in the mirror and look at yourself. See yourself. And I see me. And as long as you see you, you're going to be fine. And so shout out to the dreamers, man. I'm just doing my best to try to, really put them in position to help people, man. But, that's my goal. My goal is to change lives. So hopefully somebody watched this and this interview changed their life. Like, hopefully. But if not, I did my work, God. Now can I go lay down? That's how I really do my life, though.
And if you didn't catch enough gems in this, go watch the GAUDS Show.
Oh, yeah, by the way, go watch the GAUDS Show. Like, it's dope, fun podcast. I mean, it seems to be doing very well. And, I'm just getting started. So appreciate all the love. Appreciate the interview. Thank you, my brother.
And hopefully we see you on, like I said, Joe Budden podcast. Yeah. Joe Budden show.
Yeah, I'm definitely going. When I'm done with my book, I'm definitely hitting Joe, saying like, "Yo, Joe," and like, can I be down? Can I just come on there? I'm definitely gonna hit all my friends in the world. Like, I know a lot of these guys see me coming. Like, my boy. It's funny, my boy Carbon, good friend of mine. He was like, he hit Wallow. I love Wallow. I'm a fan of Wallow. Wallow. He was like, yo, you should know this guy Ray. And Wallow was like, I fuck with him. And I was like, he know me? And he's like, he fuck. So, you never know watching, bro. But if you're doing it because people watching, you're gonna lose. Do it. Shoot the gym like ain't nobody in there. Yeah. And then when there's somebody in there, it's not gonna make a difference.
Yeah. I always tell people, don't pay attention to how many numbers you do or don't get, because that one person could be the one that changes your life. So it doesn't matter about view. No, sometimes people get caught up in that. But when you're ready, let me know. I'll help you get as many interviews as I can.
I'm holding you to that. You're on record saying it, bro. I'm hitting you.
course.
All right,
Definitely.
my man. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Salute.